Hello there, morons! Name is Victor. If you're new to the channel, name is Victor. I am the king of morons. If you're called a moron, it's a compliment. Don't get all huffy, okay? Don't get all huffy with me. I am using my eyesight this time, not my new camera, because I'm going to be making a video just answering a question. So I'm not going to pull out the big guns for that one, though I got these big guns here too. Okay, today I'm going to be, what I do on this channel once in a while is I make lessons in Japanese. I try to be amusing. I give you information about Japanese. I show you culture, stuff like that. But I also answer emails, and, well, that's pretty much, I answer emails. But if it's really a dumb question, I'm going to tell you to Google it. And I get so many stupid questions every day. Look, please do me a favor. Google it before you goddamn email me a stupid question. Seriously. I mean, it's not that goddamn hard, okay? I mean, seriously, I really want to punch you in the face when you send me an email asking me what the weather is like or what the currency is like or how many days off Japanese people get. Google it. Now, I do have an email now coming. This is long overdue, and I have to apologize. I am a humble person if you have a good question, and I haven't done it for you. I'm sorry. As they say, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Is that what they say? Or kick the tires? I don't know. Anyway, this guy's been emailing me quite a few times, and he's a good supporter. And yeah, instead of me bitching about all the people who annoy me, I gotta say thank you to all of you, and you know who you are, who always leave comments on the videos. So let's get that out of the way too while I'm at it. Yeah, thank you everyone for always supporting the videos, leaving your comments. CERCL came, enjoyed, commented, rated, and left. That's always nice to see if you don't have anything to say, but it's, yeah, I appreciate that. So seriously, although I don't remember you, you don't get on, well, here's the thing. I don't feel like, I should feel more prone to email you all individually and say thank you. But unfortunately, it's the annoying, stupid idiots asking me what the weather is like in Japan who make me want to give them more attention. You know what I mean? It's the idiots that really annoy you. Of course, you know what I'm saying. It shouldn't be that way, but that's human nature, and I am a human being. So this guy, TheFlamingBert, he has emailed me many times, and these are his questions. I'm going to go through them one by one. This may concern you. This might be interesting for you. Maybe not. I will put the questions also in the description, as long as they don't have any personal information, so you can go through there and see, what you're interested in learning and estimate where on the video the answers will be. Okay. Anyway, this guy's name is Bert. He's 17 years old. He's living in New York City, and he wants to be a doctor. And he'd like to go to Japan on vacation. He's got a whole list of questions. Okay. So he says, number one, I want to stay in Japan for a month to see the sights and discover for myself the land. Any areas I should start off with? If you're going to be here for a month, you can see a lot. I would say one of the things you want to see in the beginning, it depends on the season, of course, the winter or spring, summer, but you've got to see Kyoto. I would say spend at least 4 days in Kyoto. There's so much to see there. The Kyomizu-dera is one of my favorite temples, and of course there's all these just little roads and streets to walk up and down. 4 days, grab a guidebook and you'll see quite a bit there. Okay. In this category, he asks, oh, okay, other places to see? Don't bother with Nagoya. Nagoya's a dump when it comes to tourism. There's nothing to see in Nagoya, except me. No, seriously, there's not much to see in Nagoya. It's a great place to live, but it's basically like Cleveland, Ohio. It's just an armpit. I mean, you need it, but, you need it, but it's not, you don't want to put your nose there, okay? That's what Nagoya is like. Tokyo, of course, you want to spend a few days in Tokyo, but I would say, once you've seen one big city, you've seen them all. There is a few things to see in Tokyo that are very interesting, too. Osaka, you want to hit the big cities. You're going to be here a month, huh? I suppose you might want to get down to, if you've got to be here a month, go to Hiroshima and see the dome. That's always worth a visit. It's very interesting. But you only need 1 day for that. What else? If I had a month, geez, that's a hard one. I don't know. If you have the time, Hokkaido is really cool, but only if you have a car to drive around, because it's so vast there. It's really an incredibly large area. Oh yeah, and of course you want to try the onsens. Yeah, go out of your way to do, instead of saying visit this place and that place, this is going to sound strange, but a lot of Japan is all kind of the same in appearance. Like you could be in any neighborhood and you wouldn't know what city you were in. But the activities are special. So you want to do certain things. You want to go to the onsens. You want to try all these foods. You know, if you can, try fugu one time just to say you did it, right? Although to be honest, there's nothing to it. Go to one of these revolving conveyor belt sushi restaurants, the cheap ones. There's a really good one that's only Hakuen, 100 yen each. It's really, really good. Try the foods, things like that. Get out to the country if you can. Take all forms of transportation. Take the Shinkansen at least once. You probably have to. Take buses. Take the subways. You know, get off in little spots and just walk around. You get the feeling. If you have a whole month, then yeah, you'll be able to do things like that. Okay, number 1. Then he says, I want to stay in Japan for a month to see sights. Okay, how much does renting an apartment cost compared to jumping from hotel to hotel? Well, if you're gonna be renting an apartment might be a good idea if you're gonna be here for a whole month and you're gonna stay in one place. But if you're gonna move around, I would say you could probably save a lot of money by just staying at really cheap hotels. There's a lot of like youth hostels and stuff like that. If you're going to be with the cheapest way, of course, is to travel with people, at least one other person or 2 other people. And this is going to sound really strange to you guys, but when my sister came here many, many years ago, my sister and I and my brother and another friend, we all stayed in one love hotel together. Okay, which was, you might think, wow, it's really weird. Yeah, because it is kind of weird. But you know, there's a lot of room. Love hotels are actually really big. They're really roomy, and they have really good baths and good TVs and stuff. But the thing about a love hotel is that you go in like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. and then you can't get out until you leave. Like, so you leave in the morning. You go in, you sleep, and just leave in the morning. But it'll cost you like maybe. A cheap one might be like 7,000 yen, about $80 for the night, but it's it's pretty nice. And for 4 people, that's dirt cheap, right? The other option, of course, is capsule hotels. There are capsule hotels all over Japan in any major big city. And if you do your research, you can plan where you're going to stay before you get there. Worst case scenario, there are these internet cafes where I think you can pay 2,000 yen and stay for like 8 hours or so. That's $20, right? And you can get some sleep there. So there's always that. Yeah, my nose is itchy. Okay, sorry. So capsule hotels are cheap. Youth hostels. For fun, a love hotel is always nice. The baths are so big. Things like that. But you gotta, if you're with friends, you gotta like close your eyes when one person's taking a bath, because often they have like a bath that's not always, but in places I've been, one of the rooms is closed off with glass. And it's like a big room, but you can look into it from the outside, you know. So what in my case, I only did this once with my sister, my brother, and the other friend. Is the 3 of us would stare at the TV while the other person took a bath, because we didn't want to see each other naked, you know. It's gross. Anyway, so B, how much would basic internet cost at an apartment? Also utilities like water and electricity for a month. I don't know if you're going to get internet. That would probably be included in the price. You probably wouldn't have to pay extra. A lot of hotels now have internet built in, or they have it at least in the lobby, and it's free. Often, I remember when I was in Hiroshima last summer, the internet was free, so it just just plug in, so no big deal. Utilities, water, and electric, but I'm paying I think I'm paying like $50 for my internet. I think electricity is about $70 maybe. Water, I don't even know. To be honest, 2,000. I got. You know what? We did a video on this on the subject of apartment prices on this channel by Most Awesome. What was her name? Most Awesome Jess. So I'll put the link in the bottom. You can look at that video or watch that video. I'll put it here, right there. Check that video now if you want. And come back to this. Okay. C, what kind of areas accept foreign travelers? Everybody accepts foreign travelers. It's not a big deal. Chinese travelers are way up now. I wouldn't worry about that. No big deal. D, are there any good travel agencies that might help plan a big trip like this? I would not use a travel agency because they will gut you. They will take your money. If you got a lot of money, go to a travel agency. Don't bother me then. You know, if you got a lot, why are you asking me? Just go to a travel agency. I wouldn't recommend any to plan a whole trip. If you want to buy tickets to go go overseas, there's a whole bunch of travel agencies that you just pick up a flyer anywhere, any English flyer has a little advertisement for. I don't even know the names off the bat. JTB or what was the name? I don't remember, but it's not a big deal. You know, you go down, you you check on the internet and get some tickets and go and pay and you get your tickets, right? But I would not use a travel agency in Japan. They're very expensive. Oh, you know what is good though? You know what's cheap is getting like bus tours. Like you pay like 5,000 yen and they put you on the bus and they take you to a restaurant somewhere else. Or like they take you around. Like they have these like weird I've heard of like ramen tours. You see them on TV all the time. You pay like a certain amount of money and they'll take you to like, I don't know, a bunch of restaurants to taste ramen or things like that. Or seafood or something like that. Or you can go to like some market far away. And there's also mystery tours where you pay a certain amount of money, like $50, and they just take you somewhere. And you don't know where you're going. That's where you pay like $50, and then when you get on the bus, then you know where you're going. But they will tell you, they will say something like, dress warmly or something like that. Okay. Let's see. I'll probably know little Japanese. Any tips for surviving as a person who understands little about the language? Actually, if you speak very slowly and try to communicate in English, you'll be okay. I ran into 2 German boys the other day who don't speak much Japanese at all. And they were just doing their best to communicate in English with the Japanese in the area. And I was watching. And they seemed to be okay. You know, it was a struggle, but they could get... You know, when the Japanese didn't understand, they would say, "Wakaranai," you know, but they would be okay. Next question. What's the possibility of a foreigner obtaining a Japanese girlfriend? Don't plan on hunting, but just in case. Depends where you go. If you go to a gaijin bar, I guess there's a good chance if you meet a girl, you know, there's a good chance of, you got to be in the right atmosphere, or environment, that is. I'd like to know the countryside of Japan as well. Any beautiful areas? Tons. All of the countryside is beautiful. It's gorgeous. Karuizawa near Tokyo. If you're going to be in Tokyo, Karuizawa is really nice. That area. How about that? Nikko is very nice. Okay. I live near Gifu, so I go up to Gifu. We're all nice in the mountains up there. Hakuba, beautiful. Anyway. Depends where you are. Where's the main city, you know? Because getting around, unless you have a car or lots of money for Shinkansen tickets, that could be expensive. So I think it's a wise decision to try and explore so much. Do you think it's a wise decision to try and explore so much of the country in just one trip? If you have a month, you can see a lot of the country. I'm afraid of getting lost in a city like Tokyo. Everything's in English. Don't worry. If you get yourself a map, there's a couple Tokyo map guides that you can get for free, pick up in a hotel anywhere, and you'll be fine. You can probably download something off the internet as well. You're not going to get lost walking around. Okay. You might get a little bit lost, but you just ask somebody. You say, blah, blah, doko desu ka? Say, eki wa doko desu ka? Where is the station? And you're fine. You know? Ichiban chikai eki wa doko desu ka? Where is the nearest station? And you're fine. Okay, Kay, I'm good with people. I'm just wondering, what's the best way to make Japanese friends? I don't know. Be hot. Be good looking. I was at the Naked Festival just 2 days ago, and these 2 tall, handsome 19-year-old Germans were walking around, and everyone was walking up to them. So I hate to tell you this, because I'm not a tall, handsome, blonde 19-year-old German. But they were all walking up to them like, "Oh wow, who are you guys?" You know, it was really funny. Not like a lot of young people, but even young girls were like looking at them talking. So if you're if you're a good-looking, blonde, blue-eyed person in Japan, people will approach you, especially like in a crowd or in a matsuri event or something like that. Or they'll, the thing is they'll approach you, or they will give you a sign that they're okay with you approaching them. You see what I'm saying? You know, they will smile at you in such a way that you know it's okay to approach them, which is pretty cool, right? That's actually how that. I don't know if you noticed this, but that's the way things happen in the States as well. For those of you who are men, most of you are men who watch me, but it's often the women who will give you a look. They'll give you I think I've mentioned this before, but they'll give you some kind of indication that it is okay to say hello to them in some way. So there you go. Okay, what else do we have here? Let's see. How much is a round trip to Japan from New York? I don't know. Look that shit. See, that's a stupid question. I don't know. I have no idea. Jesus, I want to punch you in the face now, Flaming Bert. Come over here and ram your face into my fist many times. Okay, there you go. I'm got that on my system. I don't know, man. Don't ask me those questions. Stupid questions. Look it up. I do know that if I go back to the States, it costs more than it costs you to get here. When I came over 22 years ago, I remember it cost like $400 one way, okay? From Seattle or something. Did I come from Seattle? I think I flew in from Seattle. When I go home now, if I can get tickets for less than $1,000, I'm quite happy. Going back, so I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, yeah, you've annoyed me to no end with that question, but I will try to take a deep breath and go on with your list of questions here. Okay, ready? Last but not least, if I'm near your area during the trip, would you like to meet up and grab a bite? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know who you are. Possibly. People, yeah. I mean, sure, I'll have a beer with you. Let's try, like just a cup of coffee. So we don't want to, commit to anything that will be too time consuming. I don't want to have dinner with you right off the bat because then we'll be stuck with dinner all night and we may not be enjoyable. But no, if you've come all the way from America, I've met quite a few people who I've never seen before. Yeah. So yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll come to that bridge we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Or as I like to say, we'll burn that bridge when we come to it. Oh my God, I just lost your message. Oh, I just closed the window. Just a second. Be patient with me. Be patient with me. Be patient with me. Where the hell is it? Okay, here we go. Yes. Okay. Now, last but not least, number 2. Okay, next section. I was wondering how the healthcare system in Japan is. It's good. A lot of people complain and bitch about it. I've had no problems. I will say this, that your insurance does not cover car accidents, which pissed me off really a lot, because when I first got hit by a car, I was like, yeah, I got insurance, so no problem. They're like, well, insurance won't cover car accidents. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Because I never used it otherwise. I think I went to the dentist, I've been to the dentist like twice in Japan. When I go to the States, I visit the dentist. But, let's see. How's it different from the healthcare in the United States? You don't have healthcare in the United States. That's how it's different. How about that? So, in Japan, this is the way it works. In Japan, you pay for healthcare. Your payments are based on your salary of the last year. But your first year when you come to Japan, you actually, I think, if it's still the same, I'm pretty sure it's still the same. You pay only, I think, $10 a month, which is dirt cheap for the first year or two. Maybe it's 1 year. Then it goes up. After that, it goes up based on your salary. So the first year I paid, and then the first year I was here, I made lots of money early. So the second year I was like, what? $300 a month? And most foreigners don't pay. They just ignore it, and it's the law. So they hassle you up a lot. But a lot of foreigners are like, no, I have. You can go to the shiaksho, the municipal city office, where you're supposed to pay, and you just tell them. Oh, I've got, insurance back home. I don't want to pay. If you create enough fuss, they basically leave you alone because they figure it's not worth the hassle. But if you're going to be here a long time, it catches up with you. So I'm all paid up. I mean, I paid everything. So I'm just waiting for, for some major medical condition to happen, and I'll be saved, right? Because I paid for it. So anyway, but they pay for most everything. Yeah, I've been, I think I went to the doctor for a checkup this year once, and it cost $8 or something. In the States, it would have cost a lot more. So my parents came to visit, and they both got colds, and they went to the doctor. And it was really, really cheap, too, even though they didn't have insurance. How much was it? I think for both of them, it was less than $100. Like $70 or something, which is really cheap, right? So what do you know? Okay, let's go on. Let's see. Without too much detail, I don't want to invade your privacy. Could you explain your last visit to the doctor? I just did that. Are there any privacy? They looked in my butt. Okay, how about that? When you get to my age, you want people looking in your butt just to make sure everything's okay, right? Whether I'm joking or not, I'll leave it up to your imagination. Are there any differences in treatments and medication? Not really. No. I will say that what health coverage in Japan does cover Eastern types of treatment, for example. If the doctor recommends it, you can actually get insurance to pay, I believe, for certain massages and acupuncture, right? But not the massage with a happy ending. That kind of massage, you'll never get a prescription for. Just so you know. Okay, I know you got into a motorcycle accident recently. How did the hospital treat you? They were really nice. They rushed. They treated me really well. But then the second time I got hit, the Yakuza came to my bed and threatened me, which I thought was laughable, and I actually laughed at them because I'm like, "Look at me! I'm all beat up, and you're trying to scare me. Like, what are you gonna do? Hit me in the hospital bed? Idiots!" They weren't really Yakuza. They were like lower end Chimpira. Chimpira is like lower level Yakuza. Okay, I know that hospitals vary, but how was your hospital? Did you get your own room? Did I get my own room? I got like a room that had like dividers, like these little. Yeah, well, you know, I don't think I've ever stayed in the hospital in Japan overnight. Have I? No, they give you like a room with a curtain on a rod rail, you know. So it's kind of private, you know. You don't have to look at anybody. I have been in a hospital. I don't remember where I was. Oh, I've visited people in hospitals. You can pay for more. You can pay money to get your own room, or you can be in a room like 4 people, things like that. So there's that, you know. And here's something stupid about the Japanese medical system. You want to know? Because it's free, a lot of old people will go to waiting rooms and see doctors almost on a daily basis. Okay. Number one, because a lot of these old people are bored and they just like to go and hang out in the waiting room, and they go see the doctor, and the doctor checks them and everything's fine. But because of that, that's probably one reason people live a long time here, is because they're always at the doctor's. And the doctor can probably catch any problems quite early. That's one thing. The other thing that's stupid about the Japanese medical system is that they spend too much time on patients that don't need that much time. For example, I had my appendix taken out in the States. I was there overnight, all right? And actually, my appendix blew up in my body. So, I stayed 2 nights, which is rare, right? And I was miserable because my whole body was poisoned with my appendix because it blew. Guts everywhere. But in Japan, I knew a woman who had her appendix taken out, and she was in the hospital for 2 weeks. You know, when I got out of the hospital in the States, I remember I was like 18, 19 years old, and I was like walking around like, with a cane because I couldn't straighten up my body, right? Because of the scar. But she was at the end of the 2 weeks. She was walking around fine. There's no problem. When she came back to work, no problem at all. In those days, I worked for the YWCA, and I guess it's because it's a kind of a charity supported by charity funds that nobody really cared. But maybe if you worked for like a cutthroat business, they wouldn't let you get away with that. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure nobody goes home after getting their appendix out in less than 5 days. I'm pretty sure it's at least 5 days, which in the States wouldn't happen. Oh, the other thing is, if you have a baby in Japan, people often stay in the hospital for like a week or so. And they can't understand that people in America, they just go back, the next day. They stay overnight and they're back, right? Most of the time, right? That's still happening, right? That's the way that you guys are doing it, right? I mean, I remember my mom coming home after one night, but she was miserable. You'd think you want to keep the moms there a couple of days at least, but and the baby too, right? It just came out, just let her rest in the hospital a couple of days. Okay, let's see. Being a foreign-looking patient, did any of the doctors and nurses treat you differently? A lot of doctors actually speak quite a bit of English, and I let them, and to be honest, even if your Japanese gets pretty good, there'll be a time when you're like, huh? Because you're not going to understand medical jargon. I mean, that's a different kind of, even in the States, people are like, doctor, don't give me, speak English. I'm not a doctor. That kind of people say, yeah, that's the same in Japan, man. People are like, what? And even like students, it's one of the funny things is when students try to explain their medical conditions to you, they use medical words that most foreigners would not understand. So, because I've taught many doctors as a teacher, I've actually learned a lot about medical English. So, let's see. How much was your bill for the hospital stay? It wasn't that bad at all partially because of insurance. But even when I had the motorcycle accident, I think it turned out to be like $300 or something. Um, yeah, it wasn't bad at all. And I got MRIs and all that crap and X-rays, you know. And so it wasn't bad at all. I remember an MRI cost me. I had, you know, because of the accident, my neck is tweaked out. Even now, I got to stretch it. I haven't stretched it in a while. But as a result, the MRI thing cost me like. Well, at the rate in those days, it was like $90. Now, because of the rates, like $110. But let's see. Do you think? Let's see. How much is your bill? Okay. Have you met any foreign medical students looking for jobs in Japan? No, never. I have met a lot of Japanese. I know a lot of Japanese who've gone to America to study. I wouldn't say Japan is the best place to study. Japan is not known for its progressive medical advances, you know. I mean, they have a pretty solid medical system here, but even Japanese, if they want something really advanced done, something, you know, breakthrough, pioneering, they don't do it in Japan. They go to Europe or they go to America. And a lot of my students who are doctors have gone to America to study, or even just for a short time, or for seminars and things like that. Anyway, let's see. Do you think it's hard for foreign doctors to transfer to Japan if they wanted to practice here? I would think it's very, very hard because you have to pass the medical license here. There is a big debate. There's a big kind of almost a scandal, I would say, now with Filipino nurses. Okay, let me tell you something about the Philippines. Okay, I've never been there. Number one, John Jansen from Fat Blue Man. He's spent quite a bit of time there doing charity work and stuff. To which I would take my hat off. Let me put a hat on. Let me put a hat on so I can take it off for John. Oh, I can't. All I got is my crown. I'll take off the crown. Here you go to John Jansen and Fat Blue Man. He is a practicing Christian, and what I mean by that, he's a Christian who puts his money where his mouth is, and he actually does Christiany things, you know, Christianish things. Okay. Yeah, he's actually a very good human being, and he's gone to the Philippines to do charity work quite a few times. That's kind of off the subject. I've never been there. That's the point. That's all I wanted to say. However, a lot of Filipinos come to Japan. Unfortunately, the biggest image of Filipinos in Japan is in the sex industry, as prostitutes or hostesses, things like that. But there's also a lot of Filipinos speak English very, very well, and they get hired in the States. There's stories about how in some cities they can't even find good teachers, so they hire Filipinos because they speak English perfectly. And in the English teaching industry, the Filipinos are kind of a pain in my ass when it comes to Skype lessons and things like that, because they will they're cutting into my market because they teach on Skype at I think 500 yen for 30 minutes. Which is like $6 for 30 minutes. And I cannot compete with that, you know. I mean, in Japan, the cheapest private student you're going to get here is going to be at least, worst case scenario, 1,000 yen, 30 minutes. And that's like if you're, I mean, that's really low, okay? It's pretty standard at a typical Eikaiwa English school to charge 6,000 yen or $70 or so per hour. It's pretty standard for 50 minutes in some cases, and they'll even go up to $100. So you know, a lot of the Philippines are very educated. A lot of Filipinos are very educated, and they can do that. And a lot of them are very educated in the medical field. So a lot of Filipino women, nurses, and I suppose men too, are coming over as nurses and working here for a short time. There's some kind of time period in which they're allowed to work with no visa, with no, how do I say this? Okay, they give you like a year or two where you can work. And then you got to pass a test that allows you to stay here and work longer. Unfortunately, the test is like in Japanese, and most Filipinos don't have the time. The most working Filipino nurses in Japan don't have the time to study to pass that test, so most fail because it's way too hard. And that's become a big debate here because there's a shortage of nurses here, and they need the manpower, but they're not. Their laws and rules and regulations are not. They're not conducive to, I want to say the import, but no, the immigration. You know, it doesn't support what they need, right? it's kind of contrary. They're basically shooting themselves in the foot by creating tests that nobody can pass, and at the same time needing those people to pass. So I have seen a lot of Filipino nurses here, but I've never seen a foreign doctor. Yeah, I do know one woman in my old neighborhood who was a foreigner. I think she was a doctor. Yeah, she was a doctor, but she was married to the owner of the hospital. And actually, she had a dog too, and that's how we met, because we were both walking our dogs in the park. And she's quite a bit older than me, but she told me she came to Japan as a doctor, and she met her husband. No, she met her husband overseas, and then she got married and came over. That's what it was, in England. And they came over, and she became the wife of the. She stopped working. She's not a doctor in Japan. So yeah, no. I guess the answer would be no. That's a long answer. Okay, the third section is about YouTube. What made you start a YouTube channel? That's a long question. I started teaching. I just wanted to make little videos, and actually in the first videos, if you look on Action Teacher, I think I started teaching, and I wouldn't show my face for the first 3 or 4 videos because I was a bit shy. Then I started just speaking Japanese on Victor in the World. And then I started the Give Me a Break Man stuff. It just started becoming more and more fun originally. There's more to it. I mean, to be honest, I had a big falling out with a few really good friends here in Japan. Old friends, and that's kind of old, complicated stuff. But I suddenly found myself, yeah, I used to have other businesses and jobs here, and I suddenly cut myself out of that world, gaijin world here in Japan. I suddenly had a lot of time. So I started concentrating more on the school, and I decided, oh, I better get my foot in on this internet stuff, early. So I started it got to be fun. I started doing the other stuff. Let's see, was it hard to find other Jvloggers on YouTube? Yeah, in the beginning there was nobody. There was Emily, Apple Milk 1984. There was Lilith Hacker. He was one of the first ones. There was this fat guy, I forgot his name, who was really funny. He says, well, my Japanese sucks. And he made a video that went viral. There was a couple other people, very few. Most of them never continued. The only people that stuck around was Lilith Hacker, still around. You can find him around. And Claytonian. He's one of the first ones, too. Most of the old, I hope I'm probably leaving someone out, but even... Yeah, most of those people didn't exist. Yeah, the original group, there's basically only me and Claytonian left. Yeah. Then came Kevin Cooney with the Tokyo Cooney, and Hiko Simon contacted me one out of the blue and said, hey, I like your videos. And, it was funny. Hiko Simon asked me, can I do a shout out to, I hope you don't mind I'm mentioning you in my video. And I'm like, no, of course. And I think he got a feature here in Japan too. So that was cool. And yeah, it just started growing, and I guess about a year ago it started kind of blowing up. And now I think I'm proud to say that the Japanese, I'm proud. I'm happy that our Japanese vlogging community is so big and healthy and friendly for the most part, except for that one asshole. Okay, actually there's 2 now, but and if you might know who I'm talking about. No, they're nice guys. They're just confused. Let's see. Was it hard to start finding other Jvloggers on YouTube? No. I know my own videos are really bad, but could you shout me out? TheFlamingBert! Go sub to TheFlamingBert! I've never seen your videos, man. I don't think I've ever seen a video of yours. I'm gonna go check you out right now. Oh, I don't have internet connection right now. Oh well, I'll have to look at you later. Yeah, go check out TheFlamingBert, and you guys tell me if he's any good. All right. I'll sub to him anyway, but you guys tell me if he's good and what he could do to improve. That's the best thing. Be honest, be nice, don't be rude. Give helpful criticism if you have any. If criticism, maybe you don't. Maybe they're great. So he says, I know my own videos are really bad, but could you shout me out? Okay, there we go. I may be starting a vlog, but I'm hesitating because it will be a big burden with everything, and my style is similar to Shane Dawson. Really? You like to wear women's clothes and makeup and talk about vampires who eat menstrual blood? That's my little experience I've had with Shane Dawson. I don't want to be mistaken as a copycat because it's really just being relaxed and funny and not the script I always have in my head and sounding like a robot. Any advice? Okay, here's something interesting. Actually, a couple things. I really hope you don't mind me mentioning this, but One of my newest finds and friends on YouTube is a guy named Sunny, Japanarchist. And he made a couple of videos early in his YouTube career that were slightly similar to the, what's the guy's name? Ray Williams Johnson. And he's gotten some slack for it. Like, and we were discussing this, but here's one thing that's interesting about YouTube is once you make one video that seems to be like somebody else, or it seems to be a certain type of video, then you get kind of labeled for that. Some people will only remember you that way. So he made one video that was slightly Ray William Johnson-ish a long time ago, and now people are like, oh, you're just trying to be Ray William Johnson, which is just ridiculous because he's not original in the first place. You act like what he's doing is so original. Look, no, not taking anything away from him. The guy is funny. The guy makes funny videos, and obviously he knows how to make videos that appeal to people. He's huge, but it's not like it's an original idea. It really isn't. It's just America's funniest videos on YouTube, which is a shame, but it's not his fault. He's taking advantage of the stupidity of the masses, which is what appeals. You know, well, what I'm saying is, he knows how to make videos that appeal to everybody, and unfortunately, that's not an original recipe. It isn't. It's just, it's sad that the same crap that's on TV has leaked its way, found its way onto YouTube, and become extremely popular here, which annoys me. Now, back to Japanarchist. He made one video, two videos that were slightly that way, and then, you know, some people just think, oh, you're just trying to be that way. I made that one video about Tokyo Zeppelin a while back, like giving him some shit about some shit he said. You know, okay, maybe two videos, but the first one wasn't disrespectful. For the second one, I was calling him an idiot, in a way. But here's what I got. Like a month ago, I get an email from someone telling me I'm full of hate. And all my videos are about hate, and he actually cited that one video. So this viewer only saw me with that one color, you know, red. He thought all my videos were about hate, and I was kind of, you know, well, I didn't lose any sleep over it, but I thought, wow, you know, you make one video knocking somebody, and suddenly that's all you're about. People think that. So my advice to you is, do your best not to appear to be copying anyone, because it will become an annoying pain in your ass if everyone, you know, unless you don't mind. Because seriously, I mean, nobody really does anything that creative. There is one guy, I forgot his name, Artie, he's the one, he did somebody put his name in the comments. His name's Artie something, and he does like, he's an actor actually. He's actually made it to Hollywood. He's one of the few who's actually made it. I think he was in a movie with like George Clooney or something too. But he did this one video where he just does funny faces, like, you know, that's basically the same face 3 times, isn't it? But okay. Anyway, he did all these funny face videos, and they got like featured. And he does like a lot of reenactments. Like he did the one from 12. What's Ocean's 11 or something. You know, he did a reenactment of that. He does a bunch of reenactments. Anyway, he did a video like a month ago making fun of YouTube users, and he was kind of parodying a little bit of Sexy Phil, a little bit of Ray William Johnson, a little bit, you know, all that kind of stuff, and just showing how easy it is. But the funny thing was, and he wrote this in his description, was that his parody was not really that far from the truth. His message to everyone, his advice is do something completely original. But that's hard. It's really hard to do anything original. I'm not going to claim I've ever done anything original. But, you know, if you really sit down and put your mind to it, maybe you can come up with something that's really, really interesting and original. So that would be my advice. But no. My real advice is make videos that you would watch yourself, that you would want to watch yourself. Yeah. Now, I'm not doing that at this moment because I don't have these questions. But, yeah, do something that you enjoy. Because, and that's what I tell my teachers, too. When you're teaching, teach something that you're actually honestly interested in, because that enthusiasm will come out in the classroom. And people will say, hey, yeah, I like, yeah, oh yeah, they get excited too, you know. Okay, would you like to friend me on YouTube? I thought we were already friends, man. Like, hey, you know, here's something you may not know about me. If you're a Jvlogger, I will sub to you. On this channel, I only sub to Jvloggers. I have friends on YouTube who I don't sub to on this channel because this is just, I use the subscription, the list of people I'm subscribed to as a kind of base for other people. So I refer to that. You know, I say, hey, if you want to meet more Jvloggers, go through that. I'm sub to all the Jvloggers except for two. One of them blocked me because he's a thin-skinned idiot, basically. Nice guy, but an idiot. And the other guy is, I don't know if he's sub to me, but there's a new guy who's appeared recently who's equally an idiot. No, much more of an idiot, and makes horrible videos about Japan. I mean, they're just like painful to watch. Yeah, so besides those two, I'm pretty much sub to anybody in the Jvlogging community, except there's this one guy who does a radio show, and I don't sub to An News CH because they put out too many videos. So if you put out, and I think that like the railroad guy I don't sub to anymore because they were just filling my inbox. I look at my inbox to be all training, they're all news stories or all radio shows. So except for those, you know, I pretty much sub to anybody. So that's it. Okay, well that's a long-ass video. I hope it answered your questions, and I'm going to go to work now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I've got some really interesting stuff coming up soon, but I really had to answer this email, and I apologize for taking so long to answer you. I hope to answer all your questions. And remember, if in doubt, Google it!